Which coins are going to pump and which will dump? Well, one of the biggest factors here is whether these coins exist within a strong narrative. You see, narrative is the North Star that cryptos follow on their journey to the moon. So in this video, I'm going to give you our update on the hottest narratives to watch for Q3, as well as mention a few projects to keep your eyes on. Be sure to watch the whole way through. Firstly, despite having a background in financial advisory, nothing that I say today can be considered investment advice in any way. It's purely educational content meant to inform and not sway your opinion. Okay, with that out of the way, let's dive in with the first narrative. Oh, and I should point out that these are in no particular order. The first narrative is XAI. It's basically blockchain-based management for real-world facilities and data. In the ever-evolving world of cryptocurrency, the XAI token stands out as a beacon
that everybody's still talking about and they need to talk about today is XAI and Tesla. XAI is apparently in talks to raise funding, and it's going to value it at $40 billion. Who are these people that or companies that are going to be able to invest? Is Tesla part of that? XAI raised $6 billion just a few months ago at $24 billion. So in just a few months, it's already at $40 billion. Well, because they just launched their largest supercomputer in the world called Colossus. And so, and by the end of this year, Elon Musk's companies, both Tesla and XAI, will have brought online roughly $10 billion worth of training compute capacity in 2024 alone. This is important. It's going to train Grok, FSD, and Optimus. All right, so where is Tesla, Alexandra? Why is Tesla not in this game? Yeah.
Good question. I mean, Tesla, the way Tesla can invest in XAI will take time. So I just don't want people to be impatient. Couple of things to add. They're not at 40 billion anymore, they're at 45. So there was first information that came out of that was 2 days ago at 40. Yesterday afternoon it was 45. They're trying to raise another 5 billion at this 45 billion valuation. And they're actually at the moment only doing that by contacting investors who already have a tranche, so they can increase their stake in it. It's not about new investors coming in. So this is a completely normal game. I'm sure that they have, they had some milestones set with their investors saying, when we're at this milestone, we're going to raise another 5 billion, maybe later a further 10 billion, whatever they want. This is completely normal for venture capitalist investment. And I'm sure many of the existing investors will continue to support and continue to inject money into it. So this is normal, and this is not yet the tranche for Tesla. Why? So
landscape. What do you think about this? But before you do, if you're liking this video, then give this video a like to give it a boost. You may as well also want to subscribe and turn on notifications as well. It'll be well worth your while, I promise. Anyways, back to the vid. The next narrative to look into is GameFi. Now, this is a narrative that has been around for quite some time. It was hot in the previous cycle, and I remember how bullish everyone was about it. This was at about the same time that traditional games were looking to include NFTs, and the reception was, shall we say, frosty. Indeed, during the previous cycle, some of the top games like Axie Infinity, etc., were about as interesting to play as watching paint dry. Actually, that's a bit of an unfair comparison. Watching paint dry isn't that boring. So it's safe to say that there is a spotty record for the GameFi space. However, things have changed quite a lot since the last cycle, and there have been a number of high-budget games that have launched or are about to launch. Games that have taken years to develop. Games that gamers would actually want to play. Not only that, but the infrastructure being built around Web3 gaming has been growing ever since. You can see over here the growth of new gaming networks over the last 3 years. This is despite the depths of the previous bear market. It's not just crypto-native startups, but established gaming companies are also barreling headlong into Web3 gaming. For example, CoinGecko recently reported that 29 of the world's 40 biggest gaming companies are investing in Web3 gaming. A research report by Game7 published towards the end of last year revealed that since 2018, there has been over $15 billion that has been invested in Web3 gaming. So why is there still all this bullishness for GameFi? Well, that's because it's another narrative that has a decent chance of onboarding millions into Web3. We've all seen the stats. 3.3 billion gamers worldwide, $176 billion in gaming revenues per year. That's projected to reach $504 billion in 2030. Okay, so that's GameFi. And time for another new narrative. Or should I say, a reborn one? Real-world assets, or RWA, is also all the rage these days. But what most people tend to forget is that they are a reincarnation of security tokens from the 2017 cycle. But we'll get onto that in a bit. Firstly, what are they? Well, quite simply, they are tokenized assets that exist in the real world. It's the process of bringing these assets on-chain. There are many different assets that can be tokenized, everything from property to bonds, equity to commodities, credit to art. I mean, the list goes on. Now, the RWA space has seen an explosion in the past year. I mean, you can take a look at the total value locked that has been locked up in RWA protocols, for example. It's not just random crypto projects launching novel RWA tokenization protocols, but massive behemoths are thundering in as well. I'm sure you will have seen the news about BlackRock's Biddle Fund, which is growing at a blistering pace. By the end of April, it already captured at least 30% of the 1.3 billion tokenized treasury market. They aren't the only ones, of course. There is also Franklin Templeton, which has a tokenized money market fund with ticker Benji. Now, treasury tokenization is the fastest growing RWA token type, and that's just because they are the biggest asset class in the world. But there are a whole host of other financial assets that will benefit from tokenization. According to a report by BCG, they estimate the tokenization of global illiquid assets to be a $16 trillion opportunity by 2030. They also estimate that by the same year, the tokenized market will contribute 10% to global GDP. In addition to this, Citigroup released a report that has the following eye-popping stats. Real estate tokenization will reach 1.5 trillion by 2030. Sovereign debt to reach 1.9 trillion. And tokenized repo, securities lending, and margin collateral to reach 1 trillion. Now, I would absolutely love to get your feedback. So, which narratives are you bullish on? Are there any coins or tokens that we should have on our watch list? Let me know down in those comments below. And if you found this video helpful, then help me to help you. Hit that like button, tap the subscribe, and ding the bell as well. You don't want to miss a single Coin Bureau video. Until next time, Crypto Cats, over and out.